up on Vegas Nation Blitz, back in the win column.
We needed a win bad this week.
The Raiders were able to come together and get a win for their new leader.
I'm a part of the team, just like everybody else, so it's a we win.
We'll break down how the Raiders beat the Broncos right now on Vegas Nation Blitz.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Blitz. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Welcome into Vegas Nation Blitz, where we bring you all of your Raiders fast takes and smart coverage. I'm your host, Cassie Soto. After a week of adversity, the Raiders proved to one another that the season is not over, and there were still a lot of games left to be played and to be won, including the game in Denver on Sunday, where the Silver and Black handed the Broncos a loss, beating the home team 34-24. Derek Carr finished the game with over 300 yards for the fourth time this season. Let's go ahead and get to our top stories, brought to you by Capriotti's. There's no better time than game time to score party favorites. Order online to get Capriotti's party trays, box lunches, or large subs for the whole crew. Raiders beat writer Vinnie Bonsignore here with me now. Vinnie, I think we were all expecting the Raiders to take the off-field struggles of last week and try to turn it into something positive on Sunday. But I don't think anyone could have imagined that they would put together such a well-rounded performance on Sunday versus the Broncos.
Yeah, I've been covering the team for 2 years. That was by far the most complete performance of the season. And interestingly, Mark Davis, who we ran into, Ed Graney and I and Adam Hill after the game outside the locker room, he kind of agreed. For him, it was like one of the better performances that he's seen as the owner. So, we talked about this last week, how it could be like a rallying cry for the Raiders, and it certainly was. And now what they've done is really created sort of a baseline for themselves. There should be no turning back from what they were able to do in all phases of the game. Special teams showed up. Offensively, they were really good. The offensive line played its best game of the season. And defensively, 5 sacks, 3 by Max Crosby, who's playing like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. It was everything that the Raiders needed and more, but now it's something that they have to build on.
Did anyone's performance on Sunday in particular surprise you, Vinny? For me, seeing Kenyon Drake finally get his gears going was pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, it was good to see his number getting called and then him delivering. That's kind of what that was the Kenyon Drake that the Raiders, envisioned when they signed him. But I'm going to go to the offensive line. And, Brandon Parker graded out the best that he has this year by Pro Football Focus, as did Alex Leatherwood. Andre James graded out better than he has, in that game compared to his season grade. So it was just a really good step in the right direction for a beleaguered offensive line that seems to be settling in. And if they can build on that, or at least sustain what they did on Sunday, it's going to make the offensive operation just that much easier. And you see when Derek has enough time to throw the ball and look downfield, averaging 18.9 yards per completion with Henry Ruggs and Darren Waller and Brian Edwards had a 51-yard catch. The wheel route touchdown to Drake, which covered 33 yards. Those plays need a little bit of patience and a little bit of time to let unfold on the back end of it. And when Carr gets that kind of time, those kind of plays can happen, but it all starts up front. And for the first time all year, the offensive line did just enough to allow Derek and his playmakers to let some things unfold downfield, and they made the Broncos pay for it.
Well, I know you touched on the defense a little bit, but we have to highlight them here. 5 sacks, 4 turnovers. This is not the defense of last year, Vinny.
No, not at all. And I think we're getting to the point where that's expected. If you're a Raider fan and you're skeptical or worried about the other shoe falling, understandably so. The Raiders just haven't been very good for the last 20 years. But when you start looking at this defense week in and week out, somebody's stepping up to make big plays, and you're getting consistency from Casey Hayward, who's grading out as the best cornerback in the NFL. Denzel Perryman, who's grading out amongst the best linebackers. Max Crosby is the best defensive end in the NFL. Trayvon Moehrig has put together some really good performances over the last couple of weeks. His arrow is pointed upward. Guys are just playing well. It's a good team. It's a good defense. And at some point, maybe everyone's just going to have to accept that and expect it from week to week.
Final one, Vinny, how much credit are you giving the play callers here? Raiders interim head coach Rich Bisaccia, offensive coordinator Greg Olsen, and defensive coordinator Gus Bradley for being able to rally these guys in this locker room again to put such a dominant performance on the field.
Yeah, and I think that was the prudence behind having Rich take over as the head coach. It really allowed Gus Bradley to be the head coach of the defense and allowed Greg Olsen to be the head coach of the offense. Nothing changed in their regard other than Greg now calling the plays, but allowing them to be able to preside over their side of the football. And then Rich to be able to focus on, obviously, the special teams. By the way, they showed up in a big way on Sunday as well. But then kind of be that CEO who's in charge of calling the timeouts and deciding whether to go for it or not on a fourth down, or when to throw the red flag to challenge a play. It allowed everyone to kind of do what they've been doing without any interruption. And I thought that was the best approach. I think it's a seamless operation now, and everyone's going to respect each other's sort of boundaries and allow them to do what they do best. And I think that's the best thing for the Raiders right now.
Around the League, brought to you by Pirate Plumbing, the masters of disasters. Hey everyone, it's Heidi Fang here, and I'm joined with our NFL and Raiders writer, Adam Hill, and we're going to talk all about what's happening with the AFC West right now. First of all, Adam, just 2 teams in the AFC West walked away with wins this week, but I wanted to get your take on maybe your idea of how the trajectory is shaping up for the other 3 teams in the AFC West after what you saw in Week 6.
I didn't like the effort I saw to the Broncos. It wasn't inspired at all. We know the Raiders had all the emotion on that side, but I think for sure you've got to be concerned if you're a Broncos fan. And now they've got to go on the road on a short week after not generating any kind of a pass rush against the Raiders and try to beat a Cleveland team that is also beat up. The way the Browns are beat up right now, if the Broncos don't bring some sort of fire and effort and they get beat by that Browns team that's a shell of itself, that is a really bad sign for the rest of the year for the Broncos. Meanwhile, I think the Chiefs started to resemble the team we thought we'd see out of them. A lot of the advanced metrics suggest that this is a team that's about to break out. We know that they're through the really hard part of their schedule. They've got now a game against the Titans, and then things start to ease up a little bit. But we're seeing the receivers get more and more open. Mahomes make more and more plays. The defense played much better in the second half against Washington. We started to see a little bit of life out of them. So if that Chiefs team that we saw in the second half against Washington continues to show up, I think there's a good reason they're still the favorites in the AFC West, despite those early struggles.
Now, Adam, the Chargers are on a bye, but the Broncos and the Chiefs are both sitting at 500 as they head into Week 7. Which of those 2 teams has a more favorable matchup ahead?
Well, they both have pretty tough matchups on the road. I'm going to say the Chiefs have a tougher matchup going against Tennessee, but this is a classic letdown spot. Tennessee on a short week after a huge win over Buffalo. We might not see the max effort out of a team like that. That is classic in the NFL to see a spot like that. But then you've got Cleveland, who's a wounded animal right now. They have injuries all over the place. The status of Baker Mayfield, we know that both of their star running backs are out of the game. The receivers are all banged up. Defensively, we just saw, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who was headed toward one of the better rookie seasons of any defensive player. He goes down. So there's trouble all over the field for them, but it's a short week for a Denver team that didn't show much life. That makes that a very tough matchup for them.
Great stuff indeed. Thank you, Adam.
Vegas Nation Injury Brief, sponsored by Knockfee Injury Law.
Sam Gordon here on behalf of Vegas Nation outside the Raiders practice facility in Henderson, coming at you with this week's injury brief. On Wednesday, Jonathan Hankins returned to practice in a limited basis, according to interim head coach Rich Bisaccia. Obviously, we're going to monitor that situation throughout the course of the week. We do have more clarity with safety Roderick Teamer. He is on injured reserve and will miss at least 3 games. Bisaccia said he doesn't think the injury is going to last longer than that, but of course something worth monitoring as the weeks go on. As a result, the Raiders have signed quarterback Desmond Trufant, and he's expected to play right away on Sunday as part of a 3-cornerback rotation per Bisaccia. Also, veteran guard DJ Fluker has been added to the Raiders practice squad, and he was out of practice today as well. For all Raiders news, analysis, features, podcasts, videos, and injury updates, visit VegasNation.com. I'm Sam Gordon, and that's this week's Injury Brief.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler, the perfect bridge between internet pricing and a traditional brick-and-mortar jewelry store. We specialize in loose diamonds, natural and lab-grown, engagement rings, fashion jewelry, custom design, and jewelry repairs. We operate by appointment in our beautiful offices in the One Summerlin building, downtown Summerlin. Our great relationships with the world's largest diamond wholesalers and our low overhead saves you hundreds, if not thousands, on your purchase.
LeAndre Fox here with our weekly look at what's happening in Raiders social media. The Raiders got a big win over a divisional rival on Sunday, so now let's hear some of the emotion from the Raiders as they came off the field.
Hey man, feels great. Bouncing back from adversity. That's what Raiders do. Oh, it's great. We did what we came here to do. Straight up.
Hey, we had to put them boys away. Hey, just stay tuned. We coming. Hey, back in the dub column, man. Just continue to stack them. Want to know every week.
Now, if y'all have been living under a rock for a few weeks, Henry Ruggs has a shoe deal. The Adidas superstar, WS2 Henry Ruggs. Now let's get a fit check on DC. Derek Carr rocking his teammates' kicks at the presser. They're fire. They are definitely valid.
Mic check.
Certainly it's emotional for everybody, right? So I think they did a good job as a bunch of grown men of handling their emotions throughout the week, putting them in perspective when it was time to go play the game. It is a job for all of us, and again, they seem to do a really good job with it.
These guys that we have in this building, are resilient, from the coaching staff to the players to the trainers. Everybody has a great positive outlook on this organization. So just having everybody around, continuing to, not forget what we have in front of us. Everyone's talking about, oh, now what are the Raiders going to do? Like, is it the season over? And we heard all of it, and for us to go out there, have a great week of practice, and go out there and play good football, like, it's just a testament to all these guys in the locker room. I couldn't be more proud of them.
Vegas Nation, the road ahead, sponsored by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Sports columnist Ed Graney joins me now. Ed, I think the Raiders surprised everybody with their performance on Sunday and how they were able to bounce back. Do you see them maybe replicating that same sort of performance and, more importantly, the intensity on Sunday versus the Eagles?
Cassie, it's a great question. I don't know if they can replicate the passion energy that they had in Denver. They're on film now with Greg Olsen calling plays. The Eagles are going to see tendencies down and distance. I know they really wanted to win for Rich Bisaccia last week. I'm sure they do this week as well. But coming off the Gruden saga, it was easy to really get up for that game. Now we're going to see, as Rich Bisaccia said after the Denver game, can they carry it over? Can there now be a time where they play just as hard with just as much passion? And we'll have to see Sunday in Allegiant Stadium.
Well, after the Eagles and after this Sunday, the Raiders enter their bye week. Do you think it's coming at a good time for this team?
So here's the thing about every NFL team. They're always going to say it comes at a good time, no matter when it comes. They're going to say, oh, we can get healthy. Depending on what happens against the Eagles, they're going to say, oh, it's best for us now. Even if they win 2 straight and they beat Denver and they beat Philly, well, it'll give us a time with this new coaching staff to go over things. So I don't know if they're going to really feel it's a good time, but this is when they get it. They know they've had it, since the schedule came out. So you take your bye when it comes. You do as much as you can to get healthy, to get ready for the next opponent, which will be the New York Giants down the road for the Raiders after their bye week. And I'm sure no matter what, they're going to say it comes at a good time because they always do.
Too soon to talk about the playoffs?
Too soon. There's been enough times when they've been 6-2 and gone the other way. So if they win the next 2 and get to 6-2, maybe that's time to talk about the playoffs.
All right, we'll save that question for the road ahead, down a few more roads. Ed, thank you.
Thanks, Cassie.
As we gear up for week 7 of the NFL schedule, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in every week to Vegas Nation Blitz. And we hope you join us on Saturday for Vegas Nation Game Day as we help get you ready for the Raiders home matchup versus the Eagles. Until then, go ahead and check out vegasnation.com for more Raiders coverage or download the free Vegas Nation app. For our entire Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. We'll see you soon. Join the action with the Las Vegas Review-Journal's Pro Football Contest. Predict each week's winning team for a chance to win a $25 gift card from presenting sponsor Capriati's or a $30 gift card from Big Dogs Brewing Company. Sign up today at lvrj.com/profootball.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Blitz. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.